What's up, guys? We are 1 week away from the release of Gwent Homecoming, and I'm telling you what, I'm just sitting here just playing as much classic Gwent as I can, just trying to savor the last tastes of it, because I know everything's going to be gone. Everything's going to get deleted. And this week, I've been playing this Swappa'tael deck, which was actually brought to Gwent Open number 7 by Kacper, and I just love this deck. This deck is one of the most. I'm just shamelessly net decking it. This is one of the most fluid, sequencing all the way to zero decks that I've ever played. It just feels so good to play. It has power. It reliably gets down to 0 cards, so you can play pretty much literally everything in the deck almost every time, because of the amount of thinning in the deck and the swapping, which means that you can, if you have things that are supposed to be pulled by other things, you can swap them out, pull them, and then get all the way down to the end that way. So I'll just go over the basic function of the deck here, and then we'll get into some games. So this deck is start with the big powerhouse cards, right? You end with your combo is you do Bruvahug into Barclay Elves into Sheldon Skaggs, which is your 3 dwarves, and that is a huge power play because you fill up a row. You start by filling up a row to 6, right? 6 cards on the row. Then you play Bruva, Barclay, Sheldon on the same row. That fills up the row to 9, and then Sheldon goes off for maximum points, boosting himself by 1 for each. So he should get to 17. I don't know why I keep seeing him on 20 from memory. He should get to 17 from that, right? And he also boosts by moving everyone. He moves the 3 Blue Mountain Elites, so they get boosted by 2 as well. So that play just there is 4 plus 2 plus 9 plus 8 plus 6, right? Which is 4 plus 2 is 6. Plus 9 plus 8 is 23, plus 6 is 29. So 29 point Bruvahug, roughly. That's amazing. But what that does is, it makes it that the last dwarf, because they're the only dwarves in the deck, except for Xavier Moran, the last dwarf you played is Sheldon Skaggs. So now you have a Xavier Moran somewhere in your hand or deck, which will boost by the default power of the last other dwarf you played. So he boosts by Sheldon Skaggs' power 9. So he goes up to 19. So you just save that for the last play, basically. 19-point play right there. You also have an Igni, which is pretty good at the moment, I think. I haven't struggled to find a target for Igni. Dandelion Poet, just a bit of thinning. And you have Ele'yas, which is your other big power play card. This card, you just swap it and swap it back, and every time you swap it, it boosts by 2. It basically boosts by 4. 2 to go into the deck and 2 to come out of the deck. And I've gotten this up to like 22, 24 points. It's amazing because you have so much swapping. You mulligan it whenever you see it in the rounds. You use Elven Scout to swap it. You use Riot Officer to swap it. So you have 6 swap cards. And you can just make it huge. And it doesn't even matter if you mulligan it round 3. Sometimes you deliberately mulligan it at the start of round 3, because you're always going to thin through your deck and get back to it at the end. Aside from that, you have this 1 Weather Clear and a movement, which can be useful for just disrupting enemy plays. It's just generally pretty useful. And yeah, the rest of the deck is basically... Oh, and Geralt for swapping. That's basically just there so you can have a huge thing to swap with your Riot Officers. It's not the biggest play to just play it out from hand, which you will have to do because you're thinning to 0. But it means that you get 20-point Riot Officers every time you use it, unless you're using them with other things. You might be able to take out Geralt of Rivia, but we'll just leave it in there. It's pretty good. And the rest of the deck is basically just thinning. So if you count all the thinning, you have all the cards that either thin or that either pull themselves from the deck or pull something else from the deck. You have Bruvahug himself, Dandelion Poet, Yavin, Alarin pulls herself. Barclay Els pulls Sheldon Skaggs. They don't. Blue Mountain Elite pulls the two other Blue Mountain Elites. And then the Elven Mercenaries, 2 of those pull a Reconnaissance. And then the 3 Reconnaissances pull each other. So that's 12, which is the magic number. Because the game draws you 13 cards. You will pull 12 other cards from your deck just through these thinning cards. That's 25. So if you play your cards in the right order, you can get down to 0. The problem with decks like this normally is that you can't exactly do that because you may end up with having to play. For example, you may end up with 2 Blue Mountain Elites in hand, so then you got to play one and you don't get the full thinning. Or you may end up with 2 Reconnaissance. This deck's cleverly got 2 Elven Mercs and 3 Reconnaissance, which means you can play 1 Reconnaissance from hand. But if you play more than 1 Reconnaissance from hand, you end up with a dead Elven Mercenary and you don't thin to 0. So there's a whole lot of traps like that can happen. But that's okay because you have so much swapping and mulliganing that you can always fix your hand. So you can pretty much always get down to 0. So let's get into a game. And hopefully it'll be a good one. I've had some really good games so far. Let me just swap myself down to the corner. And let's get going. I don't normally do a little spiel at the start before playing a deck. But yeah, I just love this deck so much. And I'm going to be pretty sad in general that Homecoming we're losing all that thinning. Basically, we're just not going to have very thin decks.
Of an uncrit.
Nothing like a dwarf to get you to a tight spot.
Okay, so we have quite a lot of things we don't want here. We don't want 2 of these. We don't want 2 of these. We don't want either of these in hand because we've got to pull them from Bruverhoog. So we've got some fixing to do. Let's start by blacklisting both of. Oh. Okay, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I'll admit. I'm actually going to do this one because these are actually the hardest things. You do not want these in hand. You want to get them out really quick. So I want to keep them in hand so that I can swap them out and hopefully they won't. When you swap one, hopefully the other one doesn't come back in. Also, swap can actually give you the same card that you just put out, I think. Or it might only be that you can get a duplicate.
Got the heart for an uncrit.
This is not a great hand. What we're going to do is not use any thinning or swapping until we get some of these bricks out of our hand. So,
I'll feed you to the crows!
Well, that's a good start. It's always a good start to get your Blue Mountain Elites out. And we're just going to use, we've got a Riot Officer and 2 Elven Scouts, so we should be able to fix this. This is a bit scary, he's getting a lot of his veterans going. We have to get these 2 out of the hand and then play Bruverhoog right away. So let's start with the high tempo play, because I want to catch up to this guy. Alright. We could actually go for an early Igni here, if he lines up. No, he's not lining up. This deck only actually has 2 ways to deal damage. It has Ida Amin to just zap or weather, or clear weather, and it has otherwise purely passive. It's a real shame that I can't line these up. Okay, and we are going to be behind once we play this out.
Only death here for Dwan.
We have to hope we don't get Sheldon back. Alright, that's good. And we got Alarin, but she didn't go on the right row. So we do have to play 1 more card to maximize this row. We want to get 6 cards on the melee row there. So I will probably just play out the Elven Mercenary. I don't want to do any more swapping or pulling, because that might pull Barclay or Sheldon, which would be a disaster.
What is it?
Okay, now we need to have 2 more cards on that row. So let's try and get some Elven Mercs out of here.
Everything all right?
Good, another Elven Merc.
Everything all right?
Everything's good. Thanks for asking. Interesting. I don't want to... Oh, I'll line up an Igni. That's what I want.
Death to Old One!
Okay, if he doesn't pass, he's in a lot of trouble. I don't know if I will get my Bruiser combo off at this point, because that Igni is just too tempting. Actually, we could...
Get him, Wojtek!
Who's going to block it? Clever. That was nearly a disaster for him, but just watch this. Watch this insanity. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the melee row, so we're going to play Bruiser.
Nothing like a dwarf to
Barclay.
get you into a tight spot.
Sheldon goes down. Oh, that's why he goes to 20, because Bruiser boosts him by 3. Or, yeah, Barclay boosts by 3. Oh, it's just insane. 19 points ahead on even cards. We got the thinning. We got Sheldon being the last dwarf played. So that Xavier Moran will now be a 19-point play. Our deck is down to 6 already. I think we just mulligan this so we can maximize the number of mulligans we get off it. Right, and so the goal for round 2 is to... We could try to get all the way down to the end and just have... and basically have only one card left at the end. Let's just start with Yavin. I think we start with Yavin here. We do want to make sure that we have a bronze card left so that Reconnaissance is not dead. But that's okay, we will.
I fail, Menherius Den Verde.
Okay, now if he doesn't have a spy, then we are guaranteed to go into round 3. That's alright.
You only live
Stay ahead.
once!
Okay, so I think we just start swapping Geralt now with the Riot Officer. I just want to get that Reconnaissance out.
Blood and neck ends. Similian Vat.
Okay. Now there's 2 cards left in the deck. Dandelion pulls one of them, and then the draw
will
in
is
round 3
mightier
pulls the
than the
next one.
sword.
So we are guaranteed to get down to 0 now. But I don't think I want to
can do
use...
a great deal more for you.
Okay. I don't think I want to use Dandelion this round, because what I want is to have one more cycle of Ele'yas going into round 3. So I'll save Dandelion to pull the last card out of the deck in round 3. I might just put some weather down in that case.
Why have you summoned me?
We're going to try to hit an Igni, even if it's just a single unit Igni. I think we just want to get it out of the way in this round. And we'll get rid of these, they're pretty low tempo, and we'll just try to cycle the Ele'yas if we can do that.
By the rates of Morhog!
It's a pretty big deficit. I don't think we're going to catch up, but that's fine.
You shall taste of your own medicine.
The only thing we can't have is Dandelion in the deck in round 3. So let's just not push Dandelion off. But if we get Geralt, then this is actually a hard decision here. Oh, we just put Xavier, of course. Yeah, it doesn't really matter because we'll get him back at the end. That's good. We got Ele'yas. So I'm just going to use all of my mulligan tools here.
Come here. Come get a hearty bear hug.
He knows I've got Igni. But he'll have to play into it if I keep playing this round, surely. Okay, so we just swap Ele'yas out again, I think.
Only death here for Dwan.
Hope we get Geralt. No. It's a shame. Well, we could just save this for round 3 then. Because we can guarantee that we have Geralt in hand, and then we'll use this to swap out Geralt in round 3. Let's see if we can get an Igni.
What is it?
He's playing around Igni pretty well. I don't want Igni to be dead, though. Choice is here. We pass and we hope that we can get an Igni in round 3, although he's pretty cleverly playing around it. Or we play this now, and just for 15 points, which is not great. I think if he played, if he kept playing, he would just play into the back row. He's not going to enable that Igni. But if we can't get this Igni off, then we might lose. So I might just do this. I'll do it and I'll just drop the... There's the Geralt. I'll just drop the Geralt now, I think. Yeah, so I telegraphed that I had Igni very early on. That was the problem. He's just going to play in the back row there. We're not going to get this Igni. Should have saved Yavin for a bit later, but we'll just drop Geralt now. I may as well just drop Igni now, actually. That's what I should do. He's clearly going to play around it. Can drop both. That's fine.
Damn it.
Now he clears over. Okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So we're just going to drop this. It's not going to go off this game. That's fine. He can't hero pass. So he'll play one more card, we'll pass, and then we'll go into round 3. Alright. I think we have a pretty good round 3 here. So we are going to thin to 0. We're just going to draw 1 here. If it's Ele'yas, we mulligan it. Yep, just to get one more tick. And we're going to have a 24-point Ele'yas for the last say, which is going to be amazing.
Modron Freyr is patient, but she brooks no insult.
Okay, 16-point Freya, pretty good. 19-point Xavier Moran.
What do you need?
Wojtek, down!
Okay, pretty good, pretty good.
The quill is mightier than the
The
sword.
quill is mightier than the sword. 24-point Ele'yas.
Love is war.
29-point Dandelion Poet. Just insane. This deck, man. Let's do one more. I've only lost 2 games. I think I've won about 6 games with this. I've lost 2 games. One was I was learning the deck and I didn't really know how to mulligan properly. And the second one was my opponent had I think I posted this on YouTube. My opponent had got up to a 49 or 48 point Farseer, and I had Igni in the deck, and I was just cycling and cycling and cycling trying to find Igni, and I never found it, and it was just crazy. So what I might do here is blacklist the Blue Mountain Elites, because I don't want a second one to show up, and I can get them out again with the Elven Mercenaries. Okay, good. I was really hoping I wasn't going to pick up Barclay. Soldiers, all right.
Everything all right?
Okay, yeah. That's fine.
Death awaits us all.
So I possibly should just set up some weather now. Where are the doomed? So those are the... yeah, so I want to put it on a different road of that. I think we just set up some weather. Problem is it won't kill these off in time. But at least we're guaranteed to get
Why
value
have you
out of it.
summoned me?
Oh nice, we got Ele'yas, so we're actually ready to go with the combo. The insane combo. So what did I calculate before? I have to add 3 to it. It was like something like 27, so it's like 30 points. Let's see, we're on 20 here.
Nothing like a dwarf to get you to a tight spot.
Got to make sure you don't fill up the road.
Right!
This combo. Never seen it before. I like when it makes a nice pyramid. Yeah, 52. So that is a 32 point Bruvahug. Yep, that'll do it. There's no Igni available. That would be a pretty nice Igni if we could get 5 more points on the road, but here it's going to be a draw if I pass. So I think we just go into a draw, and if he wants to go to round 3, he'll have a pretty decent round 3. I might just let him keep going, because I don't actually want it to be... He'll have a huge round 3. We do want to... this is a really tough decision. We'll just let him take us to round 3 and we'll see how it plays out. I think he'll want to pass here. Oh, okay. Thick Culvey. Okay, this is the most scared that I've been playing this deck. In fact, this is the first time I've lost round 1 playing this deck. Soldiers pushes out a lot of tempo. The double recon. That's very bad. We potentially have a bricked Elven Mercenary. We'll have to... Okay, alright. That's good. We can just... Interesting. I need to get this Yavin out of my hand. Not good. Not good. I think you
Only death here
really
for
want to win
Dwan.
round 1 with this deck. You really want to win round 1. I'm not sure if I had a chance to win round 1 against that Soldiers. But that would have been something I should have probably fought for. Ele'yas again. Okay, let's get the last recon out. We'll use the Elven Scout here,
Everything all right?
because we don't have anything big to swap.
You should not have come
And
here.
I think we'll swap this. Or maybe just that. Well, if he plays Weather, we'll want that, so... Okay, so we have a riot officer on call here.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting.
Only death here for Dwan.
So we want to try and get Geralt in hand so that we can swap it out. We can also just try swapping Yavin out. And we're going to have to play Yavin at some point. We're going to thin down to 0, so we have to play Yavin. We may as well wait and use Yavin to line up an Igni, though. If we can. So, here we go.
Famous last words right
I
there.
wanted to get Geralt. We use that to line up an Igni as well. So, in the meantime, I'm just going to swap out. I'm gonna use Riot Officer to swap.
Blood and neck ends. Similian
yes.
Vat.
Just because if I picked up, okay, yeah, good. If I picked up the Riot Officer, then my recon would be dead, and I would need to, if I use a scout, then I would need to use a Riot Officer to swap a Riot Officer into hand.
We'll
And
defend
that
our
wouldn't be good.
homes,
Okay,
no
that's
matter
a
what.
bit scary. But it's possible we can use that to line up an Igni. We can get to 24, so let's just hope that one of these rows gets a bit more stacked. And then we can maybe line up those 2 10s.
Blood and neck ends. Similian
Okay, I
Vat.
just exactly lined up an Igni on the back row. That is a thick Ele'yas, though.
I am no Nilfgaardian.
I forgive you. This time.
Vanilla Scorch? What? Okay, that was huge. That was huge for him. We may as well just keep swapping Ele'yas. This is going to be crazy, and we are going to have last say as well. We have to use Yavin after we do all the swapping, otherwise swaps don't work anymore. So let's just swap Ele'yas twice more. I think that's pretty much all we need to do here.
Blood and neck ends. Similian Vat.
Oh, you know what? I did that in the wrong order. I should have...
Just great.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Not a lot I can do about this. I can't get Triss Butt into Yennefer range. This is a big problem. I can't damage any of those low units. This is just going to keep ticking. This is going to be a huge problem. Nothing does anything. What I can do is try to line up an Igni on the back row on those cows, like really big cows, right? Once they go up really high. So I won't fret about that just yet. Okay, so I swapped Geralt. I swapped that the wrong way. I should have swapped Ele'yas with the scout and then Geralt with the riot officer. That's okay. Okay, we've done all of our swapping now. We have a 28-point Ele'yas. We're not gonna win though. This Triss is gonna murder us. So what's the plan? We want to move Jermaine off that back row and then just blast all of the
Time to reap, a time to
Ooh, okay.
sow.
No, we want to do the front row. I don't think we have what it takes here, but... So we're going to get 5 things, right? What's it going to take to be worth more than... Yeah, it's already worth 15. Okay, I think we just pull Jan Calviate back, but we do it immediately before the Igni and hope he doesn't realize what's going on.
Coexistence, no such thing.
Okay, that's our backup Igni, as we can blast Yavin.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
No way, man. I used my Ida. Ida, I mean, would have won this game so easily. Oh well, nothing to do now.
Damn it.
Now, how did that incantation go?
Now I kind of feel like playing my insane Trisbut monsters deck. Oh boy. This is crazy.
This is elven land, Dwan, upon which your kind dies.
Damn. It's not taking any chances. Well, we can wait 2 more turns.
Good way to better under old King Desmond.
We're only gonna lose by like probably about 50. This is gonna be the biggest Ele'yas and the biggest Igni I've ever seen, and it's not gonna be anywhere near enough. Okay. It's gonna be a cool Igni.
I do what I must.
Wait a minute. I could have blasted Triss on this middle row if I had taken them off instead of putting them on. Yeah.
Let's get this over with.
It was pretty close. No, it wasn't, because it's going to be one more tick. I think I actually could have won that if I managed the middle row. I just waited for Triss to get that row up to all 9s. Or all 8s, yeah. Okay. Well, what was my final score there? 114 to 126. So I still think that qualifies as an insane value from this deck. It was just, yeah, an uncounted Triss butt. I don't know why Imler at Sabbath gets all the hate, because an uncounted Triss butt, which is probably harder to counter than Imler at Sabbath actually, is just rolls away with the game. And Triss butt has been part of the game forever, as far as I know. I can't remember a time. I'm not sure about closed beta, but I can't really remember a time when Triss butt wasn't that effect. So anyway, that's Kacper's awesome Swappa'tael deck. Swaps down to 0, thins down to 0. What's not to like about it? 1 week left till homecoming. See you later.